Hello, hello, Facebook, YouTube, everybody. Happy day before Thanksgiving. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to make this one real short because, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. We got family coming in, all that good stuff. But I wanted to shoot this live specifically, and I call it being your own biggest fan. And the reason I say that is there's a lot of times where you'll have support in the industry, you'll have support in your business, you'll be an entrepreneur on the path. And what we run into sometimes are those times when it feels like we're just full of doubt. It feels like, well, I don't really have this all figured out, right? And so being our biggest fan, and what I'm talking about with being our biggest fan doesn't necessarily mean thinking that we're better than anybody or like, hey, I'm the most confident. Confidence and arrogance are two different things. Confidence is believing in your own abilities and believing that everything will work out and knowing that you'll get it done and you honor your word. Arrogance means you think you're better than somebody else. We are not talking about arrogance. We are talking about confidence, and that's being your own biggest fan. And the reason that is so important is on days like today, I don't know where you guys are at, but it's the day before Thanksgiving. It's real easy to like take it easy, not do anything. And that could go any number of ways. But when you are your biggest fan and you know that you've got stuff to do, like you figure out how to motivate yourself because if you're going to make it happen, there will be times where you got to click yourself out of that doubt, click yourself out of like taking it easy. You're really going to have to be your biggest fan because you're going to have to know when you're coasting, when you're not, when you're taking it easy, it's all about knowing yourself. It's not about like thinking you're amazing on top of the world, like better than anybody else. No, being your biggest fan means in those times when you feel like you have doubt, it's being able to remember how amazing you are, that you've got this, that you've got the network in place, the support in place. There will be times where you don't even think about reaching out to people because either they won't understand, they don't know exactly what you're going through. That if you're not your biggest fan and you don't believe that you can make this happen, then you most likely aren't going to reach out to your support system and your network. You're not going to put the things in place that will help you actually move forward quicker. You're not going to believe in your own abilities. And so one of the things I really help clients with when they run into this doubt and they run in, or they have these things where they're hitting resistance, it's okay. Are we looking forward at what we feel we're not going to be able to accomplish? Are we comparing ourselves to other people? Are we in our own head? Are we in our own ego? Is there fear? Is there doubt? All those things can be shifted out of when you have a basis of understanding your own confidence and understanding like where you come from and your authority and how you handle things to where, okay, it may be dreary outside. I may want to take a nap all day, but I know I have the ability to do this. I know I have the ability to shift out of what I'm feeling right now. And that's why it's important. If you know you've got to get business done before the end of the day so that you can enjoy your time with your family, then you have to be your biggest fan and you have to be able to shift out of that in order to approach and show up with power and authority. Because here's the thing. If you're not your biggest fan, there will be people that will tell you you're a huge success. Or one of the things my dad said that always stuck with me is he's like, I'll be able to support you and I will continue to, what was the phrase? I will continue to throw you fastballs down the middle of the plate, but at one point you're going to have to hit it, which means I can tell you how amazing you are every day. I can tell you how amazing you are. But if you're not your own biggest fan and you don't necessarily believe that, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. You're not going to retain it. You're not going to believe it. You have to start believing it yourself. And when you start believing it yourself, you actually start showing up differently. You start showing up in power. You have presence. You actually will expand. You can tell when I talk to clients and they don't really believe in themselves, or they're always looking for outside exterior validation. Their body language is different. They talk differently. When you're having conversations with sellers, you're talking differently. It's a matter of presence and it's a matter of intention going into that. if I'm going in thinking, man, I really want somebody to validate me, I really want somebody to sign with me so that I can feel good about myself, then you're going in already feeling like you're not good enough. And that will seep out through your language. That will seep out through your nonverbal cues, and it won't stick. You most likely won't get the contract, or you'll get the contract simply because you're at a point of desperation and you got to maintain a certain level, which we'll talk about upper limiting in another live. But it's all about presence. It's all about intention. It's all about believing in yourself. So how do we do that? How do we help ourselves believe in ourselves, right? Write down things you're good at. Write down things you have success or have had success in. A lot of times you'll, when we compare ourselves to other people, or we compare ourselves to what we have in front of us that we have to move through, achieve, or our goals or all of that, we really are good. Our human nature and our human mind is really good at showing how distant we are from where we want to be or what we've accomplished. In reality, that's because we're looking forward or we're looking to the side. We haven't looked back to see exactly what we've achieved and exactly how we've done things in the past and what we've overcome. When I start talking about my past and when I have conversations with people, like, you can tell there's a difference between believing in yourself and faking it till you make it, which I've already shot lives on and had that conversation. One comes from authenticity. One comes from knowing exactly what you're doing. One comes from confidence, and you don't speak rushed. You just have conversations in a path of authenticity and power and presence, and people will respond to it, right? And so be your biggest fan by really taking inventory on what you've accomplished in your life and what you're good at. And if you can't think of anything you've accomplished, write down things that you're good at. And if you can't think of what you're good at, then you need to talk to people in your circle that have a better perspective, because you might have a perspective of beating yourself down all the time. In reality, you have gifts that the world needs to see, but you've got so much mental noise, or you've got so much up here that is preventing you from actually seeing how amazing you are. You need to have a filter that will actually help you see it properly. And once you start seeing those successes, once you start seeing that validation yourself, you will see it more and more often, and you will be able to remind yourself over and over again until it becomes a habit. And then you can just start having conversations. You can start being your own biggest fan. You will start becoming a force to be reckoned with, as opposed to somebody that is looking for external validation. So, no, I kind of went on a rant there for a little bit. If you guys have any comments, or if you have a question about this, or you want to know how to be your biggest fan yourself, or take you through some questions on like how to pull this out of you, feel free to message me. Feel free to, make a comment, like it, share it, tell me I'm full of it, whatever. But I also want to let you guys know on this live, I will not be doing a live tomorrow on Thanksgiving. I'll put some content out in the morning, but the rest of the day is going to be with my family. And then I will be back on Black Friday with Andrea Steaks. And I just posted next Tuesday, we are going to have not next Tuesday, next Wednesday, I think it is. We'll be doing maybe Thursday. It's in the announcement. I'll be doing the podcast with Jen Donnelly, the queen of Section 8. So love you guys. I will talk to you soon, and have a good Thanksgiving.